They told me, son, you're special. You were born to do great things. You know what? They were right.
Son, you were born to do things. Did you know that? You were born to play BioShock. The greatest game of our lifetimes. Did you know? BioShock is the greatest game of our lifetimes. I didn't know that. Apparently, though, I went online one time and somebody told me BioShock is the best game of all time. Or at least it's one of them. And I played it. I played it today. Here, now. I am playing it. I'm playing a video of it from Long Play Archive because my footage is gone. I lost it. But I did play BioShock Remastered on my Xbox for the first time to completion. And I have feelings. I have a lot of feelings about BioShock Remastered. I know this game very well. I remember going over to my friend's house back in the PS3 era days, and he had games like Little Big Planet and Shadow of the Colossus and BioShock. And how could I forget the daddies? Oh yes, the big daddies in those scuba diver outfits. And I remember being kind of in awe and thinking this was a pretty cool game. This type of historical science fiction-esque tale with guns and plasmids and tonics. It was fun. It was really fun to kind of just watch and see my friend play. And then I did go ahead and get the collection for PS4, the BioShock collection, and I played it a little bit, but I kind of dropped it. I didn't have a good attention span for video games back when I was PS4 collecting. I was more into collecting video games, and I took it upon myself. I said, hey, you know what? This game is so well revered. It's so regarded. Let me see what the fuss is about. Why does everybody love BioShock?
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose Rapture. A city where the artist would not fear censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. And with the sweat of your brow, Rapture can become your city as well.
So powerful, so iconic, such whale. Look at that thing. Oh my gosh. This is easily one of the most promising intros of a video game. I remember experiencing this for the first time, going subaquatic after having my plane capsize in the middle of the ocean, and being invited to this underwater playground of steampunk awesomeness. I was just taken aback. And I thought the whole game would be like this. This exploration into this aquatic ambience, no Donkey Kong Country, but aquatic ambient steampunk era civilization. And I mean, it kind of was, but the beginning of this game is just so promising with so many moments, so many, I don't know how to explain this. It's almost like playing horror. I remember I was playing this with my Razer headphones plugged into the controller, and I was immediately kind of shocked, to put it lightly. and ironically, I was shocked by some of the horror elements in the game. I remember a splicer attacking my little pod here in the beginning, and the music getting really tense. And I just remember kind of lurking around the corners, anticipating enemies, having nothing but a wrench, while these guys were well equipped and knowledgeable about their surroundings.
Is it someone new?
So here we go. We are exploring Ravage. What's this place called? Rapture? Something biblical, I guess. Well, the exploration in this game is quite diverse. There is so much to see and so much to do. And there's nothing wrong with taking some back streets. A lot of this game rewards you for everything. This guy's using a camera to take photographs of enemies. This guy's a splicer, maybe, I don't know, but you get bonus points for taking pictures of them and adding them to your inventory. That's one example. He now just looted the corpse. You have rewards for like saving your ammo in a sense, and just also exploring in like little cabinets. And so this game really just keeps you doing things. And it's fun because there's always something rewarding about it. The RPG nature of this game makes it so that you always want to be investing in your character and your environment. Even with these hacking sequences, I found that so much of the game I was hacking turrets, cameras, and safes in order to just get things for my character. I actually got a little sick of the hacking by the end, but it is one of the interesting puzzle sequences. And it's an example of how this isn't just your run-of-the-mill first-person shooter game. It really does challenge you in a multitude of ways. I also like the aesthetic that is complemented by the radios. So you pick up these diaries that are left everywhere, and to be honest, I didn't pay attention to half of them, but I think it just added a little bit of element of life, where you find that most of the guys that you see on the screen are enemies. These little diary entries are serving as kind of like a friendly guide in a sense, and even kind of like a dictation of what happened where you are. Sometimes they're even pivotal to the story. So I'll go ahead and give you an example of the thing that I think the game does best is these big daddy fights. These guys take the cake and are very clearly the icon and symbol of BioShock. They're patrolling around, protecting these little sisters, which are the core mechanic for you to upgrade your character. So it's always enticing to fight them, but they're always going to give you a big, tough battle. So they're always something to kind of look forward to. But the fact that they kind of patrol these areas and are these menacing, lurking threats that don't bother you unless they're bothered is super fascinating. You can also watch them as they go to these little clock areas and knock and get the little sisters to come back out. I love these fights so much, and I think it really is the shining star, almost to the detriment of the game, simply because I don't really think of any other boss battles in this game as memorable outside of these big daddy fights.
Thank you, mister. Thank you.
But I want to be very clear, this is less about me being a hater and more about me just being semi-critical of a game I like. I think this is a really good game that does a lot of things right and does stand out from a lot of the FPS genre in a good way. I had a blast playing in so many ways. I really got invested. I dug in deep into the BioShock experience, and I think there is a lot to love here, especially if you've never really gotten into it before. One thing I wish I did was what this guy is doing and, just taking more of the photographs throughout the game so I could have built my character up in different ways. I think I also would have tried to move a little bit faster, simply because a lot of sections do somewhat drag on. There's a lot of fetch questy areas like this one here, and I think the faster that you get through them, the better. And I do kind of wish that there were more iconic moments as there were in the beginning of the game in the later chapters. But it's not to say the game is without moments at all. There are definitely some, and I think that they do make the experience that much more enjoyable when they happen.